back to Royalty Soaps. Today is February 29th, which means it is Leap Day and consequently the last day of February. So I thought it would be nice to do a soap that both encapsulated February, the most romantic month of the year, and reminds us once again of the fast approaching spring. So let's do lavender. Lavender is such a beautiful, quintessentially romantic flower, and also something that is sold at a lot of Texas farmers markets. There is a lavender farm actually like 60 miles away from me. I have a goal this year to go and visit it. It's just, I can't do a farmers market collection without a lavender soap. It's necessary. Now, if you aren't following us over at the Royalty Soaps Instagram, that is where I share most of my behind the scenes inspiration. If I go anywhere like the lavender farm, I'll be talking about that over there and showing you guys little sneak peeks. So go follow us over at Royalty Soaps on Instagram. You can also follow me. I have some really cool spring projects that I'm going to be doing over there. And also you could follow Kenny, who will be doing something, probably posting pictures of his outfits. And without further ado, let us make a lavender blossom soap today. I have here my melted oils. My oil blend consists of organic, sustainably sourced palm oil grown right here in the United States, pure olive oil, sweet almond oil, castor oil, and coconut oil. And of course, the recipe that I am using today can be found in the description box below. I like to soap around 85 to 92 degrees Fahrenheit. I have found that I have the best luck with soap making at these temperatures. Too hot and you have a higher probability of glycerin rivers, and too cold and you might get ash. So this is what works for me, but it might take some experimenting for you. Now, using my Cuisinart stick blender, I'm going to stick blend on low for about 10 seconds. My recipe has very little water in it, so it comes to emulsion rather quickly. It also has a lot of hard oils in it, and that helps as well. If you were working with a recipe that had a lot of water and a lot of soft oils like olive oil or rice bran oil, that's gonna take a lot longer to get to this consistency. I have here 4 buckets. One of them I'm going to remove, and the remaining 3 will be our bottom layer. The first color we will be adding is white. We're using titanium dioxide to make our white color today. Though there are white micas available, I just find that it never gets my white quite bright enough.
You could say they're just not quite white.
The next color I am adding is I Dream of Purple from Mad Micas. It is a perfect lavender, sort of lilac color. And then finally I have Purple Vibrance. This is from Nurture Soap, which is a very true purple. The fragrance I'm going to be adding today is Lavender 4020. This is an essential oil. There are multiple different types of lavender essential oil. However, this one is the least expensive option. With our essential oil added into our containers, it's time for blending time. Now, I know there doesn't look like much of a difference between these 2 purples, but there is, trust me. We're actually going to go back to our original mixing container to add our colors into. This is how I've chosen to swirl them. Will it do anything special for the soap? Very probably not. But it's fun to pour new ways. I'm gonna get all of the soap batter out of my little containers.
Ooh, that lavender is strong.
Yes! Now using my spatula, I'm gonna give it 2 quick little turns like that, and we are going to pour this first layer into our 2 brambleberry molds after this quick commercial break. Oh, look at this. So beautiful. It looks like a marble countertop that's also purple. Do they have purple marble? Some stone expert should let me know. Okay, Sugar's gotta tap these down on the ground. Now, using my popsicle stick, in no particular order, I'm just going to sort of make some divots on the top. Basically, I just want it to be textured, not anything really big and nothing very deep, because I certainly don't want to pour that next layer and there be air bubbles in the soap because it was too thick and it couldn't penetrate far enough. So I'm keeping everything pretty shallow. I'm also making sure to get all the way to the edges because it always looks a little bit funny if you don't include them. Looks like they're licking up the sides. With the first layer done, it is now time to move along to the next layer. The final layer. Well, sorta, because we still have to frost the top. I'll just stop talking now. For the final layer, we will also be adding in some I Dream of Purple from Mad Micah's. I wanted to finish with a true lavender sort of color. And then I'm going to mix this in by hand to begin. Because of how thick the soap is, it looks like I won't actually have to blend it in with a stick blender at all, which is really, really handy.
Pun intended.
Now for a satisfying pour. Okay, with our base done, it is now time to mix up our soap frosting. So using some of the items in the Royalty Soaps Soap Frosting Club box, namely the medium coupler and the 𝐒𝐴TICO, Kenny says 826, I do believe he's right. I am gonna start by doing my classic 3-2-1 method across the bars. This is just what I do because I feel like it gives you your most even piping look. Using smaller tips typically creates a more uneven look, which in my opinion makes your soap look a little more like a beginner made it. Bigger tips just sort of make it look like you know what you're doing. And they cover a lot of mistakes. A lot of you guys have said you miss my rambling about my life and what's going on in it. So I thought today I'd just talk about some things that I've been thinking about up in this brain of mine. This year, I feel, dare I say, a divine calling to do a garden. And I should preface this story by saying first, I have no natural affinity towards plants. I do not love them. I appreciate them, and I definitely will buy bouquets at the store, but the idea of growing them is stressful and sort of scary. It intrigues me, but I had never really set out to do it. And yet in my house these past couple of days, I felt increasingly drawn and like I simply must create a cut flower garden. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, a cut flower garden is a garden created specifically for blooming flowers intended for bouquets and centerpieces. I think this is just one of those things that sort of burns you up inside until you go out and do it. So I have been researching. I've been looking to see how big a plot I should set up for the garden, which seeds I should buy, and where I should start them. Now, before I move on with anything, I'm going to be adding some Here Comes the Bride mica from Mad Micah's onto the top, just a teeny tiny bit. I want to make it shimmery, but I don't want to cover up the purple. And then I'm going to add on these little lavender buds. Now, of course, these aren't actual lavender buds, and even the shape of them is not entirely accurate, but I love this flower shape as an embed on top of soap. I'm going to be placing on 3 per soap, and then we're going to add some pretty blue lavender buds. So anyway, the cut flower garden. Like I said, I don't have a natural affinity towards growing things. My mother was always the gardener, and anything I've tried to grow inside my house has ended in absolute despair. I also do not have any hobbies outside of soap making. Now, while I was growing up, I did lots of stuff. I did quilling and knitting and short story writing, embroidery, cross-stitching, friendship bracelet making, a little bit of baking here and there. And then as I became an adult and I got married and I had children, all of my hobbies sort of petered off, as is the natural way for most people's lives. They get busy, they drop the things that are least important, and keep the things they love the most. But I seem to be in another season of life where I can add a few things back onto my plate. I've got my house decorated, or at least organized. I'm not a big decorator, and I really like a minimal surrounding, so it's not like all out. Baby Will is no longer nursing, and Lily is becoming even more self-sufficient as the days go by. We're right in the throes of potty training, which, oh my gosh, y'all say a prayer for me. But both of them are getting out of the incredibly needy stage that happens with newborns and children in their first year. So I've got a little extra free time now. And it would seem that the earth is sort of calling my name, saying, come plant in me. And it's funny to me because it seems a lot of people, as they get older, have this happen to them. And though they never once expressed interest in their younger years in planting and growing, as they get older, it seems to be a call for many people to get back to basics, maybe even to try homesteading. Now that's a giant leap for me. I'm definitely not at the point where I think I can handle that. But I think the example still stands. I've started following a lot of Instagram accounts and reading a lot of blogs, and I have my first book coming in the mail soon. In fact, I pre-ordered it not only for me, but for my mother, my grandmother, and one of my best friends. For all of those ladies truly appreciate the blooms. And like I said, this is kind of a scary idea to me. I like to be adventurous in some ways, but I'm also a perfectionist, and if I don't know whether or not I'll succeed, I'm often deterred from even trying because I want so badly to be good at something immediately, which of course is very detrimental to think that way, because it stops you from trying out new things, and we can't all be perfect right from the get-go. It takes time. Soap making is a great example. I was not very good at soap making for 2 or 3 years. I didn't have access to a lot of good information, and people back then were far more secretive with all of their tips and tricks than they are now. So I had to learn a lot of things the hard way, and that includes the business of soap making as well. I don't have any intention of selling my cut flowers if indeed I get any blooms, which part of me still feels will not happen. I just want to do it, and we'll see where it goes. I will be updating my Instagram about it when I think to, but because this is a passion project, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself to share or give any updates. I am by no means a floral Instagram, but if you're kind of interested in doing something like this with me, I'll link you guys some of the resources down below that I've been perusing recently that I know will help me on my little flower journey. Here are my beautiful lavender buds that I will be putting on top. I've specifically chosen a variety that I feel is very vibrant. Sometimes lavender buds tend to be, well, just a little brown and lackluster, but these particular ones are quite vivid and look super nice on soap. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And with flower buds on soap, always sprinkle more than you actually want, because a lot of them will fall off. They won't end up sticking to the soap at all, and it's much better to put on a little extra so that you finally get, once all the bars have been cut, the amount you actually wanted in the first place. It also helps to kind of throw them on there. Try to peg your brother in the process. Yeah!
Hey, now I smell good.
Oh, what a pity. And with a few quick spritzes of rubbing alcohol, our lavender field soap is complete. I think this happy little batch is going to be one of my favorites from this month, just because there is elegance in simplicity. Also, it smells really good, so there's that. We're gonna wait 18 to 24 hours, and then we'll come back. We will chop up these bars and take a peep at the swirly twirly inside after this quick commercial break. Y'all, I am filming this cutting video all by myself today. It has been such a long time since I've done that. I done dropped some lavender buds on the table. Ooh, also somebody didn't clean the wires on this thing. That somebody is definitely me. That's totally my responsibility. Fun note, you should always clean the wires in between your cuttings so that you don't leave soap on top. Oh, she looks prettier 18 hours later because those purples have mellowed out into something really special, and you can see it molded so cleanly. I love a shiny side of a soap. Now I'm gonna do my best to line this up, and also, just so you know, it is hard to cut soaps that have embeds. With multi-bar cutters, it's hard to get them perfect, and a little bit shaving off of those embeds is not that big a deal. Welcome to handmade products. They're not perfect every time. Y'all ready to see the inside? Let me push these two out. Oh, I can't wait to see the piping. Oh my gosh! Isn't she lovely? Wow. Wow. I don't even have anything to say, which is rare for me. Also, those tops are just splendid. I love something as classic as a lavender without anything else mixed into it, but adding a little bit of a twist. And it's definitely very modern to be frosting the top of your soap and adding embeds. So we're doing a classic with a twist. Now I'm working on something in secret right now, but I still want your opinion. That's right, your opinion. Basically, here's what I want to know. Let's say I have a standard line of all natural soaps coming out. Is lavender 4042, so just a lavender essential oil, good enough to stand on its own to be a show-stopping fragrance oil all by itself? Or do I need to mix it with something? Does it have to be mixed with, say, a citrus or a eucalyptus? I want to know if you guys like the smell of lavender as she is. Now, to vote on the question of the day, all you have to do is click the eye in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It's really easy. And for this particular video, I am going to be taking particular notice of what you guys are saying. So if you are a customer of Royalty Soaps, take the poll. Do the thing. Y'all, the older I get, the more I love the smell of lavender. I don't know what it is. Am I an old woman now? I don't know, but I hope I'm aging gracefully and elegantly. I want to be like the Queen of England. Anyway, these Lavender Fields soaps will be available on March 7th. 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, royaltysoaps.com if you want one. If you don't, I don't care. And hey, by the way, if you want to see Kenny make a lavender soap, it looks pretty similar to this last year for Mother's Day from my mom. I will leave that link right now in the upper right-hand corner of the screen so you can go check that out. I love his rendition as well. Lavender's just gorgeous. It's just so good. Anyway, be sure you do something fun for yourself today. Whether that is going out and getting you a lavender fragrance something. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that lavender is the most popular scent for basically everything bath related. I guarantee you can find yourself a bath bomb at Target that smells like lavender, and it is very soothing. I like to put it on my pillow at night and it just right to sleep. Or maybe, if you're a soap maker, buying yourself that little embed mold you've been eyeing. I know know silicone embed molds get expensive, but we have to invest in ourselves and invest in our business. So that little mold you've been wanting, go ahead and get it. It's good for you. It's good for your business. Either way, I don't truly care what you do. I just want you to do something that makes you happy, all right? Anything at all. It can be free. I say this in all of my videos. It can be free. It doesn't cost anything. Go be by yourself if that helps you recharge. Go watch yourself a cute cat video. Anything that just kind of slows you down, helps you focus, and makes you happy. And I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, have an absolutely wonderful day. I'll see you guys over on Instagram in the meantime. And yeah, bye. Okay, bye. Meow.